Alright, so today we're looking at Pythagorean theorem, which I know is something you did a lot of in geometry. This is just kind of a review for you on how to use Pythagorean theorem. These types of questions can come up pretty often on ACT, SAT type things. They're also going to apply to the trig functions that we're going into next. So first off, remember, the only one that really is important is to know which one is your C. That's the hypotenuse. It's always the one that's opposite of the right angle. Otherwise, you can call either side A or B. Your formula a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, so in this case down here, again, I know that this is my C because it's opposite the right angle, so I'm going to call this one A, I'm going to call this one B. So my formula 3 squared plus 7 squared equals c squared. That's going to be 3 squared is 9, 7 squared is 49. So that's 58 equals c squared. I know I'm going to have to take the square root of that, so c equals the square root of 58. You do need to factor tree this out, but 58 is just a 2 and a 29, and 29 won't go any further, so you can't pull any pairs out. But if you could, you would need to simplify that part first. Okay. On example 2, this is your c. I don't care which one of these is a and which one is b. So 6 squared plus x squared equals 6 square roots of 2 squared. Okay, so 6 squared is 36. I don't know what x squared is. When you square this, remember you square the outside number, and when you square the square root of 2, that's just 2. So those two things are going to multiply together to be 72. 36 times 2. I subtract the 36 to the other side. X squared equals 36. When I take the square root, that gives me x equals 6. This is actually one of our special triangles that we're going to talk about in the next video. Looking at the back of this. Okay, the very first thing, this is a very classic geometry type question. They want you to find x. You need to realize that if you put that line down there that you have a right triangle. Okay, and you should be able to tell that this side is 8 because those are going to be the same. To figure out this side, you have to do the fact that this is if this part is 5 and this whole thing is 11, then this side right here must be 6. Okay. Again, this one's your C because it's opposite the right angle. I don't care which one is A and which one is B. But 8 squared plus 6 squared equals C squared. 64 plus 36 equals C squared. That's 100. C squared, C equals 10. So this 6, 8, 10 is what we call a Pythagorean triple. If you know your Pythagorean triples, they can save you a little bit of time. Any multiple of this, so like 3, 4, 5, is also a Pythagorean triple. You can keep going, you know. But so that those can, like I said, save you some time on some tests and stuff. For this question right here, this is a really good question. Remember that these little lines mean that those are equivalent. So all these sides are actually equal to x. And this is a square. Okay, so this is, again, one of those special ones that we're going to talk about in the next video. But to set this one up, since these are equal, I could just say x squared plus x squared equals 5 squared to 2 squared. Okay, so again, these are, this is your right angle, so this one's opposite, so this has to be C. X squared plus x squared, please be careful with that, is 2x squared equals, and when you square this, again, that's 25 times 2, or 50. When you divide both sides by 2, x squared equals 25, or x equals 5. Okay. Last question. Again, you have a rectangle with a length of 8 and a width of 4. Find the diagonal. So that's going to be your C, because if this is a rectangle, and that's a right angle. So again, 4 squared plus 8 squared equals C squared. 4 squared is 16 plus 64. 16 plus 64 is what, 80? Yeah. So 80 equals C squared. So I should have done that. When you take the square root, 80 can definitely factor tree out. So that's you can, if you remember any shortcuts for factor tree, and this is actually 5 times 16. I know that might not be the most obvious one, but I know 16 is 4 times 4, so that can save me some time. C is going to equal 4 square roots of 5. Remember though, if you didn't see that and you did like 8 and 10 or something and you kept factor treeing all the way out, you might have more than one pair of 2's. Remember, they multiply together and come outside if they're pairs. If you have more than one extra, they multiply together and stay inside.